Hello students, how are things around? Good? That's nice. Okay, so I'm here back again for my students, with the topic electricity for class 10th. This is the 8th video on that topic. The description of the other videos, the link of the other videos you can find in the description box, as well as here the topic discussed will be the application of heating effect of electric current and electric power. So here we are going to discuss two topics, application and electric power. The heating effect of electric current was discussed in the previous video. You can view that also. And here we are going to do the applications of the heating effect of electric current. So just to recall, what is heating effect of electric current? We discussed that when current flows through a circuit, means when we provide a potential difference to a circuit, the current begins to flow. So potential difference brings about the flow of current. Energy is being constantly spent due to the flow of the electrons, and this energy is converted into current, and some of it is also converted into heat. This heat produced as a result of the flow of current is referred to as the heating effect of electric current. Many a times this is an unwanted phenomena, and because it causes a waste of energy, as well as we do not require our appliances to get heated up because they may get damaged due to the heat. But this heat produced has been put to a number of applications also. Applications means uses. So here we are going to discuss the uses of the heating effect of electric current. Let's take some common examples of the heating effect. So here I am writing the applications of the heating effect. The first application of heating effect can be electric iron. Electric iron is that which we use to iron our clothes. You know, it becomes hot, and it is the heat which smoothens the clothes and irons them. So in such devices, if the flow of current is objected, then more heat will be produced. So in such devices we use high resistance material, because when the flow of current will be stopped, then more of it will be converted into heat. So we use high resistance material to make electric iron. Then similarly we have electric toaster, which we use to roast our breads and all. Electric toaster. This is also using the same phenomena. We have electric geysers. In that also we use a high resistance wire which raises the temperature, as a result of which the temperature of the water also increases and the water becomes hot. Then we have electric heaters. Now electric heaters are the ones which are used for cooking also, and which are used to warm the room also. You must have seen that in the electric heater there is a plate, and in that plate we have coil like this running all around. When we switch on the electric power, this coil becomes hot and it begins to glow, also becomes red hot, and this can be used to cook food, and also this type can be used in the rooms as room heaters. So these are applications of heating effect of electric current. Then we have one very important application of heating effect, which is a fuse. Now to understand this application of heating effect of electric current, first we need to know what is a fuse. You must have seen that in your electric meters outside your house there is one porcelain or device like this. This is plugged into a socket which is connected to the meter. This is the base, and we plug this into this socket. Through this is running a wire like this, and whenever this, please remember this, that fuse is connected in series because we want the same amount of current to flow through the series which is flowing through the circuit, because fuse is a protective device. I will make it more clear to you. Now you listen very carefully. First thing, that a fuse is connected in series. Second thing, fuse is a protective device. And the third thing, it is made up of porcelain with a wire running through it, and this is plugged into the socket and the current begins to flow through this. Now, one important thing is that the wire which we are using here for the fuse has to have a low melting point. Low melting point. Sometimes due to overloading, due to short circuiting or something like lot of a very high value of current flows through the circuit. As the high current will flow, it will also flow through this fuse wire. The wire will begin to become hot, and because it has a low melting point, the moment the temperature will go beyond the safety limits, the wire will break because of the melting and the entire circuit will stop working. When the circuit will stop working, it protects the appliances from getting damaged which are connected in that circuit. Therefore, a fuse is a protective device. Then later on, we bring this fuse out, we repair the wire or we change the wire, we again plug it, and our entire circuit is repaired and it starts working. So it is basically a protection. This is not very expensive and it can be mended also, but the appliances which are connected in this circuit may be very expensive, like ACs, like refrigerators, etc. And if they get blown off, it is a loss. Therefore, a fuse is used to protect the circuit. Now, next topic, we will take electric power. So let this quickly go. I hope this topic is clear. It's very interesting also. And now we will talk of electric power. What do we get in our houses by which our lights and fans and all the devices work is basically electric power. So what we are getting in our houses, electric power. Okay, so we have discussed in the previous video and we calculated that the formula for power is equal to V into I, where P stands for power, V stands for potential difference, and I stands for current. So we can use this formula for power, and if we apply Ohm's law, then we know V is equal to IR. So we can also get P is equal to IR into I is equal to I square R. So P is equal to I square R is the other formula which can be used for power. And if again through Ohm's law I replace I in the above equation, I is equal to V upon R, then what we will get, P is equal to V. Instead of I am writing V upon R. V upon R, so I get is equal to V square upon R. P is equal to V square upon R. These three formulas can be used for electric power. So this is 1, 2 and 3. We have also done in the previous classes that energy is the product of power and time. Now why we are discussing energy? Because we get our electricity bills, that is the according to the energy consumed. Okay, so we will discuss this. Energy is equal to power into time, but before that, the unit of power. The unit of power. We have just done power is equal to V into I. What is the unit of volt? the potential difference is volt and the unit of current is ampere. So volt ampere becomes the unit of power, which is also written as watt. The unit of power is also taken as watt. Now we come to energy is equal to power into time. So we have the formula over here. Energy is equal to V into I into T. This is one formula for electrical energy, and electrical energy is measured in joules. Okay. So one more thing, energy is equal to power into time. The other unit for energy becomes energy is equal to power is measured in watt and time is measured in seconds. So the unit for energy becomes watt into second, or we can say 1 joule is equal to 1 watt into 1 second. This is very important, and from here we can get the definition of 1 joule is also. How will I define 1 joule? 1 joule is the energy required for the power of 1 second to operate, the power of 1 watt to operate for 1 second. So defining this 1 joule, 1 volt we discussed in the previous videos are very important 1 markers, and the definitions can be taken from their formula very easily. So how do I define 1 joule? 1 joule is the energy required for running the power of 1 watt for 1 second. Now this 1 joule is a very small unit of electricity because we require or we spend much more energy than this. So we will move to bigger units of power. So if I leave these two things on the board over here, we have 1 unit of power as volt ampere, which is watt, and we have the unit for energy, which is joules, and also we have this 1 joule is equal to 1 watt into second. So these are important units which you should know. Now this is a very small unit, so we can also find the unit of energy as, now we have a bigger unit, 1 kilowatt. 1 kilowatt will be equal to 1000 watt. So 1 unit for energy can be power in kilowatt into time in seconds, which will give me energy consumed is equal to 1000 into 1. So this will be 1000 watt into seconds. So another unit for energy can become kilowatt into seconds, or we can say 1 kilowatt second is equal to 1000 watt second, and watt second is joules. So 1 kilowatt second is equal to 1000 joules. This also you should know. Now one more thing, that this is a bigger unit than this, but this is taking the time in seconds. We are spending energy day in and day out, therefore seconds also becomes a very small unit to calculate the energy of the day. Hence we can also use the unit of energy as kilowatt multiplied by hour. So this is a bigger unit of energy which is called kilowatt hour. Kilowatt hour is also called a unit. So we can also say 1 unit of energy is equal to 1 kilowatt hour, and it is in this unit that we get our electric bill. You must have seen when the person for the meter reading comes, he says that these many units of yours have been consumed. Okay. For example, he says that you have consumed 300 units in this month, which means you have consumed 300 kilowatt hour. And the rate of electricity which we get at home is decided by the government, and say it is suppose rupees 5 per unit, and I have spent in my house say 300 units in 1 month. So what is my electricity bill going to be? 300 into 5 is equal to rupees 1500. This is how we get the electricity bill. Then one very important question often asked is, what is the relationship between kilowatt hour and joule? Very important question for the examination point of view. Either you have to learn the relationship and you can find out the relationship also. So the next question is relation between energy in kilowatt hour and energy in joules. So now just see how we are going to do it. We write 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 1 kilowatt into 1 hour, right? Now we know 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 1 kilowatt can be written as 1000 watt and 1 hour can be written as 3600 seconds. So 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 361234 watt seconds, which is also joules, and 1 kilowatt is also equal to 1 unit. So it can be asked for 1 kilowatt also, 1 unit also. When I write this in standard form, it becomes 3.6 into 10 raised to the power 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 watt second or joules. So this is how we attain the relationship. Either you can get a question to find out the relationship, or only this can be asked, that express 1 unit in joules or 1 kilowatt hour in joules, which is this. I hope this is all clear to you. And now from here we will do one numerical at least, so that you can understand how we will solve the numericals based on electric power. So I will quickly clear the board and we will take up one question which you will find very interesting also, because this is something related to your daily life. You spend electricity through various appliances in your home, and see how the bill has to be calculated. So first let me take a simple numerical which says calculate the energy consumed. We have to calculate the energy consumed if 4 bulbs of 100 watt each are used for say 10 hours daily. 10 hours daily. We have to calculate the energy consumed if 4 bulbs of 100 watt each are used for 10 hours daily. Now see children, because we have to find the energy consumed in units, that is kilowatt hour. So we have to have the time in hour. This is very important, you should remember this. We have to find the time in hour, and we have to find the power of the appliance in kilowatt. Okay. So first thing, I will convert this 100 watt to kilowatt. So 1 bulb, or the power of 1 bulb, is equal to 100 watt, which is equal to 100 upon 1000 equal to 0.1 kilowatt. Now 1 bulb is using this much power, but how many bulbs are there? There are 4 bulbs. So the power of 4 bulbs will be how much? 0.1 into 4 is equal to 0.4 kilowatt. And we have to find the energy. We know energy is equal to power into time. This is the power and this is the time. So energy consumed by these bulbs will be 0.4 into 10 is equal to 40 kilowatt hour. This can be the answer like this, or it can be 40 units because kilowatt hour means units. Did you like it? It's interesting. So we'll take one more in a row, and here I will take more than one appliance. So let's see. Suppose in a kitchen, the question says in a kitchen, a refrigerator of 500 watt power is used for 10 hours and a tube light of 40 watt is used for 8 hours and a mixer of say 1000 watt or is used for 30 minutes daily. Okay, we have to find the cost of operating the three at rupees 5 per unit for April. For the entire month I have to find out the bill of these appliances working in the kitchen. Is the question clear? So now we proceed with the solution. What was the first thing I told you here? To convert all the powers into kilowatt. Children, don't forget the conversions, otherwise your questions will go wrong. So first thing, numerical comes in front of you. Look at it, conversion required. So we'll do the conversion. Now, so I'll start with the question right away. So first of all, I take the refrigerator. Refrigerator power is equal to 500 watt equal to 0.5 kilowatt. Okay. Then the tube light power is equal to 40 watt is equal to 0.04 kilowatt. Then we have the mixer power. The power used by the mixer will be equal to 1000 watt, which is equal to 1 kilowatt. Now the different times are given to us for which they are consumed, for 10 hours, for 8 hours, and mixer 30 minutes. So this 30 minutes also requires conversion, and it is equal to 0.5 hour. Now I start finding the energy consumed by each appliance. So I find the energy of the refrigerator. Energy of the refrigerator is equal to power into time, that is energy consumed is equal to 0.5 into 10 is equal to 5 kilowatt hour. Then we have the energy consumed by the tube light. The energy consumed by the tube light is 0.04 into 8 hours, which gives me 0.32 kilowatt hour. Okay, and then we have finally the energy consumed by the mixer. A very powerful mixer it is, so it is using power of 1 kilowatt for half an hour, which gives me 0.5 kilowatt hour. These are the energies consumed by the three appliances in the day. So we will add all these three to get the total energy consumed in one day. Okay, these are the individual energies consumed by these three appliances. So I will proceed from here to here. Total energy consumed in one day will be equal to the total of this 5 plus 0.32 plus 0.5, which gives me 5.82 kilowatt hour. Now this is working for the month of April. April has 30 days, so we will multiply the energy consumed in one day by the energy consumed in 30 days to find out the total energy consumed. So energy consumed in April, that is 30 days, will be equal to 5.82 multiplied by 30, which will come to 174.6 kilowatt hour. We have to find the bill for this at the rate of rupees 5 per unit. So what will be the cost? The cost for the month, or the bill for the month, will be equal to 174.60 into 5 rupees. Okay, simple mathematics. 0, 6 5s are 30, 7. So this will cost rupees 873 as a bill for the month of April. Appearing a very big question, but the question is simple. It is simply first multiplying the power with time, finding out the total, and then multiplying with the rate of the electricity. I hope this is clear to you. Do solve one or two more questions from the book. You can always ask your problems in the comment section. I would feel happy if I can be of help to you. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not subscribed. You can also refer to your friends if you like my videos, if you like my content. And thank you. Keep happy.